First, let me acknowledge the extraordinary and courageous work that our troops have done in both Iraq and Afghanistan. They've performed brilliantly under extraordinarily difficult circumstances, and I want to commend General Petraeus and Ambassador Crocker as well for the fine work that they've done. Today, President Bush announced a very modest troop redeployment from Iraq. Meanwhile, we will continue to keep nearly 140,000 troops in Iraq while our military is overstretched, which is still at or even above pre-surge levels. We will continue to spend $10 billion a month in Iraq while the Iraqi government sits on a $79 billion surplus. In the absence of a timetable to remove our combat brigades, we will continue to give Iraq's leaders a blank check instead of pressing them to reconcile their differences. So the President's talk of return on success is a new name for continuing the same strategic mistakes that have dominated our foreign policy for over 5 years. President Bush also announced additional troops for Afghanistan. I'm glad that the President is moving in the direction of the policy that I've advocated for years. But the most substantial increase will come when an additional Army brigade is deployed 5 months from now, in February, after the current President has left office. His plan comes up short. It is not enough troops, not enough resources, with not enough urgency. What President Bush and Senator McCain don't understand is that the Central Front in the war on terror is not in Iraq, and it never was. The Central Front is in Afghanistan and Pakistan, where the terrorists who hit us on 9/11 are still plotting attacks 7 years later. Today, the Taliban is on the offensive. Al-Qaeda has a new sanctuary, and its leaders are putting out videotapes. Yet under President Bush's plan, we still have nearly 4 times the number of troops in Iraq than Afghanistan, and we have no comprehensive plan to deal with the Al-Qaeda sanctuary in northwest Pakistan. Now, the choice for the American people could not be clearer. John McCain has been talking a lot about change, but he's running for 4 more years of the same foreign policy that we've had under George Bush. Senator McCain will continue the overwhelming focus on Iraq that has taken our eye off the terrorists who actually attacked us on 9/11. And Senator McCain goes even further than President Bush in opposing the sovereign Iraqi government's own support for a timetable to redeploy our troops, while offering no plan to press the Iraqis to reconcile. I am convinced that it is time to change our foreign policy. I will succeed in Iraq by responsibly removing our combat brigades and pressing Iraqis to stand up for their future. I will rebuild our military. I will finally have a comprehensive strategy to finish the job in Afghanistan with more troops, more training of Afghan security forces, more development resources, more anti-corruption safeguards, and more focus on eliminating the Taliban and Al-Qaeda sanctuary along the Pakistan border. And I will stop sending $10 billion a month in Iraq so that we can invest in our own economy here at home. Now, last week we heard a lot of tough talk in St. Paul, but we didn't hear much about the Bush-McCain record, because after 7 years after 9/11, we are still fighting a war without end in Iraq, and we still haven't taken out the terrorists responsible for 9/11. We've still heard no explanation for why Osama bin Laden is still at large, because that's where John McCain and George Bush's judgment have gotten us. President Bush's speech today underscored that we can't afford more of the same.